A long time took it to count all the money, and when it had been duly scored up, Will Scarlet called out that there were 1,500 golden pounds at all. But in among the gold they found a paper, and this Will Scarlet read in a loud voice, and all heard that this money was the rental and fines and forfines from certain estates belonging to the Bishopric of Hereford. "My lord Bishop," said Robin Hood, "I will not strip thee, as Little John said, like a winter hedge, for thou shalt take back 1/3 of thy money. 1/3 of it thou canst well spare to us for thine entertainment, and that of thine chain, for thou art very rich. 1/3 of it thou canst better spare for charity, for Bishop, I hear that thou art a hard master to those beneath thee, and a close hoarder of gains that thou couldst better, and with more credit to thyself, give to charity than spend upon thy own likings." At this the bishop looked up, but he could say never a word, yet he was thankful to keep some of his wealth. Then Robin turned to Sir Richard of the Lea, and quoth he, "Now, Sir Richard, the church seemed like to despoil thee. Therefore some of the overplus of church gains may well be used in aiding thee. Thou shalt take that 500 pounds laid aside for people more in need than the bishop here is, and shalt pay thy debt to Emmet therewith." Sir Richard looked at Robin, until something arose in his eyes that made all the lights of the face blur together. At least he said, "I thank thee, friend, from my heart, for that thou doest for me, yet I think not ill if I cannot take thy gift freely. But this I will do. I will take the money and pay my debts, and in a year and a day hence will return it safe either to thee or to the Lord Bishop of henceforth. For this I pledge my most solemn knightly word. I feel free to borrow, for I know no man that should be more bound to aid me than one so hight in the church that hath driven such a hard bargain." "Truly, Sir Knight," quoth Robin, "I do not understand those fine sculptures that wait with those of thy kind, but nevertheless it shall all be as thou dost wish. But thou hadst best bring the money to me at the end of the year, or mayhap I may make better use of it than the bishop." Thereupon, turning to there near him, he gave his orders, and 500 pounds were counted out and tied up in a leathern bag for Sir Richard. The rest of the treasure was divided, and part taken to the treasure house of the band, and part put by with the other things for the bishop. Then Sir Richard arose. "I cannot stay later, good friends," said he, "for my lady will wax anxious if I come not home, so I crave leave to depart." Then Robin Hood and all his merry men arose, and Robin said, "We cannot let thee go hence unattended, Sir Richard. Then up spare Little John. Good master, let me choose a score of stout fellows from the band, and let us arm ourselves in a seemingly manner, and so serve as retainers to Sir Richard, till he can get others in our stead." "Thou hast spoken well, Sir Little John, and it shall be done," said Robin. Then up spake Will Scarlet, "Let us give him a golden chain to hang around his neck, such as befits one of his blood, and also golden spurs to wear at his heels." Then Robin said, "Thou hast spoken well, Will Scarlet, and it shall be done." Then up spake Will Studley, "Let us give him yon blade of rich velvet, and yon roll of cloth of golden, to take home to his noble lady wife, and a present from Robin Hood and his merry men all." At this all clapped their hands for joy, and Robin said, "Thou hast spoken well, Will Studley, and it shall be done." Then Sir Richard and the Lear looked all around and strove to speak, but could scarcely do so for the feelings that choked him. At least he said in a husky, trembling voice, "Ye shall all see, good friends, that Sir Richard, o' the Lear, will ever remember your kindness this day. And if ye be at any time in dire need or trouble, come to me and my lady, and the walls of the castle Lear shall be battered down, ere harm shall befall you." He could say nothing further, but turned hastily away. But now Little John and 19 stout fellows, whom he had chosen from his band, came forth all ready for the journey, each of whom yawned his breast of coat of linden mail, and on his head a cap of steel, and at his side a good stout sword. A gallant show they made as they stood in all a row. Then Robin came and threw a chain of gold about Sir Richard's neck, and Will Scarlet kneeled and buckled the golden spurs upon his heels. Now Little John leaned forward, Sir Richard's horse, and the knight mounted. He looked down at Robin for a little time, then of a sudden stooped and kissed his cheek. All the forest glens ran with the shout that went up as the knight and the yeomen marched off through the woodlands with glare of torches and gleam of steel, and so were gone. Then up spake the Bishop of Hernsworth in a mournful voice, "I too must be jogging, good fellows, for the night waxed late." But Robin laid his hand upon the bishop's arm and stayed him. "Be not so hasty, Lord Bishop," he said. 3 days hence Sir Richard must pay his debts to Emmet. Until that time thou must be content to abide with me, lest our bread trouble for the night. I promise thee that thou shalt have great sport, for I know that art thou fond of hunting the deer, dun deer. Lay by the mettle of melancholy, and strive to lead a joyous yeoman's life for 3 stout days. I promise thee thou shalt be sorry to go when this time has been come." So the bishop and his thane abide with Robin for 3 days, and much sport his lordship had in that time, so that, as Robin had said, when the time had come for him to go, he was sorry to leave the greenwoods. At the end of 3 days, Robin set him free, and sent him forth from the forest, with a guard of yeomen to keep 4 freebooters from taking what was left of the packs and bundles. But as the bishop rode away, he vowed within himself that he would sometime make Robin rue that day that he had stopped him in Sherwood. But now we shall follow Sir Richard to listen, and you shall hear what befell him, and how he paid his debts at Emmet Priory, and likewise in due season to Robin Hood.